Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed and give you my thoughts and commentary based on having read just the headline or else being a sub-expert on the subject or something in between. But the title says it all. It's not the news. It's not news. It's just my opinion. Let us proceed. Plant-based cooking school plans to change the world one free class at a time. Yay! Free plant-based cooking school classes. That sounds wonderful. It's coming out of Britain, England, London, over there where they speak English. Anna Pauli Murray, prolific writer, first African-American woman Episcopal priest. I wonder how many African-American women Episcopal priests there have been now and when Pauli Murray became the first. Anne Moore Gregory, dubbed the Queen of Negro Golf. We know that was during a certain era if she was called the Queen of Negro Golf. That ain't something that happened here recently. After the Emancipation Proclamation, slaves kept in the dark about being free. Before the Emancipation Proclamation, people were kept in the dark about being free too. I mean, literally and figuratively, because we're all free. So you have to do something to have someone think that they're a slave or enslaved, or to keep them thinking that you own them. So that's part of it. And then the other thing is that sometimes in people's wills they would quote unquote free their slaves, but the message might not get to the enslaved people because it might be to someone else's financial or whatever benefit to keep things the way that they were, or to keep that human being in the dark about the law or whatever legal thing saying they were free. World's most expensive whiskey dram was a fake. I don't really drink, but I think the person paid like $10,000. It was an Asian man in Switzerland, somewhere in Europe. But they tested the alcohol after the fact, and they this alcohol was made around 1970s, 71, 72, 70. And it's not a single malt, it's multiple malts. So they refunded the person their money. And they just tested because they wanted to know the owners of the inn. Baltimore officer says it's dangerous to seatbelt prisoners. Like baby boy who first they drug him and jacked up his back, neck, spinal cord, and then they put him in the back of the vehicle unsecured, so he rode around. I guess they were just trying to make sure that his body died. So it's dangerous to seatbelt people who you're trying to imprison. 5 idiot-proof houseplants that can live for weeks without water. Wow. Now, if it went weeks without water, can it go months without water? Because if I really wasn't in the habit of watering it, would I just stay out of the habit? Ford Field agrees to house a potential soccer team in Detroit's MLS bid. MLS, Major League Soccer. So Ford Field would have soccer and football. Oh, football and football American. And Tiger Stadium, not Tiger Stadium, what do they call it? The one with all of the base, that there's another place over there. Little Caesars Arena has basketball and hockey, and then baseball is at, I can't remember. It's not called Tiger Stadium, no. It's called something else. Maybe it's like some corporation name. I'm like the worst tour guide ever, I done totally forgot the name. Russian hackers had hundreds of U.S. targets in addition to the DNC. It would make sense. I mean, You know, you throw a whole bunch of pasta on the wall and you see what sticks. You don't just throw one thing out there. You got to try a whole bunch of things. Niger officials are disputing the U.S.'s version of the mission in which 4 American soldiers died. Yeah, I bet you there are a lot of different stories about what happened. Dang, I moved over here to get more light. It started raining too, but it's just dark, I guess. But it's not, it's just overcast a little bit, even though it's only 6 o'clock in the evening here. And usually I have another at least hour of light. It's just dark, y'all. You see, it's light over there. Ooh, look at the glow. Egyptian TV presenter sentenced over pregnancy remarks. She said something about how to have a baby. Basically, dang, how an unmarried woman could have a baby. She could pay a man to be her husband temporarily and then keep the baby. I can't remember what she said, but she got 3 years in jail. I think it was 3 years for that, because it's a conservative society. In Japan, these single moms in shrinking cities are trying a new start together. So they're like recruiting people because the population is going down. So some cities are losing workers. So they're recruiting single moms. One thing that was interesting to me when I skimmed the article is that for the most part in Japan, there's no like system of getting child support from fathers. So if you're a single mother, you know, kind of like in this country, you're on your own, but you don't even have the pretense of a system to back you up or whatever. Scientists discover hidden chamber in Egypt's Great Pyramid. Purpose of void remains unknown. Ooh, so that's going to start a whole new wave of speculation and figuration. All the people who made at least 10 billion so far this year. I think it was like 17 people on the list, 5 Americans. Don't quote me. Read the article. Check out my Twitter feed, Be Fabulous You. Almost all of the articles that I talk about here get to my Twitter feed. BeFabulousYou. LA homeowners are making up to $36,000 a day renting their homes to TV shows. Black soldiers were on the front line of the Union Army and instrumental in the monumental battle at Appomattox. Y'all don't know how to pronounce that. Women won't have equality for 100 years, World Economic Forum. I think they started keeping records in 2006, so this is the first year since they've started keeping records between 2016 and 2017 that the status of women in the world has gone backwards, you know, overall. Boo. Papa John's and Pizza Hut have ignited a fierce political war that's polarizing America. So I used to think Papa John's pizza was pretty good. The sauce was a little bit too sweet for me, but I don't really do a lot of pizza, and I really don't do a lot of Papa John's pizza. Like here in Detroit, I tend to do Jets, I guess because they're local, and then Amici's, I've started doing that. But I think I've ordered pizza once, twice in the last year. I'm not like a big pizza person, but when I read Papa John's was saying that the reason that their business was down was because of the NFL take a knee thing, I was kind of like, ew, I'll never eat Papa John's again. And I guess Pizza Hut is like, oh, that's some bull. So I'm like, I guess I'll eat Pizza Hut, although I'm not really a big me boycotting Pizza John's is almost like me boycotting the NFL. It's not in your head. Corporations really are stealing ideas from Black and indie brands. That's coming off of the blog Black Girl Long Hair. An inside look at the most progressive, gosh, it's so dark, candidate in a generation who's poised to take on the most incarcerated major city in the U.S. Larry Krasner, District Attorney, Philadelphia. He's running for DA in Philadelphia. Catalonia crisis, sacked ministers held by Madrid court. So there were 8 ministers. I don't know if this is like basically the government of Catalonia, but now they're being held by Madrid, like they're in prison or something. Is that what's going on? Oh, I wish I could understand what was going on in that region of the world, because it seems kind of juicy, like it's something major, it feels like to me. New orangutan species discovered in Indonesia. I like the idea that there's always something new to discover and learn in the world. I don't know why. I like learning new stuff, okay? That's why. Black student leaving Kansas State over racist graffiti on car. Cause incident hurtful. Most of today's terrorists and mass shooters are millennial men. Here's why that could be. Millennial men meaning in their 20s and 30s, I guess. Non-smokers at this Japanese company get 6 extra vacation days for not taking smoke breaks. So I guess when you work at the... Look, I'm trying to look into the light. I guess when you work in this company, you get 15-minute breaks. Like, you know, if you're a smoker, you get these 15-minute breaks. So I guess to compensate, or, you know, everybody gets the same amount of time off. The smokers, they get to take their break. They break during the day. But the non-smokers, you get extra 6 days a year. I think I don't smoke, so I like that. I like all the days I can get. I like my freedom, shoot. I don't want nobody giving me days. Just give me my life, shit. Yes, the Sunday scaries are real, but there's an easy way to get over them. Speaking of your life, a lot of people, I guess there's some sense that a lot of people have that on Sunday evening, they start getting a certain feeling because their weekend is over and the week is going to start. It's been a while since I worked like, knock on wood, a 9 to 5, or, you know, and probably the last time I worked a 9 to 5, it was like 11 to 7, 11 to 8, just on a regular basis. Monday through Friday. So I don't know if I remember the Sunday scaries. But you know, a lot of people feel anxious going back to work. And I guess I don't know if sad is really the word, but I feel like so many of us don't love our lives and feel forced to do things because we want to eat and we want to have a place to live. And we feel that that's the best way for us to eat and have a place to live and have some sort of, you know, resources and prestige. So I don't know. I guess I feel bad to think that, you know, it's Sunday, your weekend is over, and you're sad to be going back to work on Monday. An 87-year-old scientist may have just unlocked the secret to growing rice in salt water. So I guess traditionally rice is grown in fresh water, and he's done some research and found out a way, you know, the beginnings of how to grow rice in salt water. But I love the fact that he's 87 years old, because when I'm 87 years old, 97 years old, and 107 years old, and 117 years old, and 127 years old, I want to be still mentally vibrant, doing stuff, active, engaged, you know, part of the figuration of the world, adding value. Yes. 87-year-old scientist, boo. John R. Applegate, renowned linguist known to speak 13 languages. Dang, I speak English. I'm always impressed with people. I'm not oriented to other languages. I know some people who are. You know, I have a friend who speaks English and French, and then it seems like she picks up other languages easily. I'm not oriented. I'm not really oriented to languages from what I can tell, but I'm impressed by people who are. Controversial sushi chef out of Gansevoort amid more racism allegations. So it seemed like this sushi chef was kind of like anti-Asian. But he says he left because he found a better deal someplace else. Other people are like, it's probably because he was racist. Ew. Architectural Digest names Detroit a top destination for design lovers in 2018. Come on to Detroit and get a tour with me. Nurse receives $500,000 settlement after wrongful arrest. This is the nurse who was the police came in and they were like, we want to draw blood from you. We want you to draw blood from this patient or get some DNA evidence from the patient. And she like, that's against the law. I'm not doing it. So they arrested her. I think that's her. Amanza Lee Meredith, renowned architect, educator, and artist, honoring the legacy Black lay midwives of the South. Oh, so midwives. I don't know what a lay midwife is. I guess you're not formally trained as a midwife. You just do it, you know, you just learned on, through the grapevine or whatever, how to deliver babies or how to assist women in their bodies delivering the babies. But let's honor the legacy. I'm a fan of midwives and natural childbirth and stuff. Like, you know, they say when you lay on the table to give birth is more convenient for the doctor, but it's counterintuitive to Mother Nature, because gravity, you working against gravity. So I'm in favor of things that are like in alignment with nature, and those things natural. All natural. Black Lives Matter founder urges Australians to fight racism. I urge everybody to fight racism, so I'm all with that. Canada's Indigenous women inquiry delayed by red tape. Louisiana teen accused of setting fire to black church, stealing utility trucks. Church attended by Harriet Tubman in dire need of repairs. Kill them all. Russian-linked Facebook accounts encouraged hate crimes against black activists. You know, for whatever reason, I've always gotten the impression that Putin was racist and didn't like black people and women. Is that weird? I don't know why. It's just, maybe, I don't know. White Connecticut student who boasted about poisoning her roommate is expelled, charged with 2 misdemeanors. That was a really disgusting story. I'm sure y'all all heard it. She had put the woman's toothbrush in her booty hole. She was putting spit in her coconut oil. She was in her and other stuff, nasty, just disgusting. And then when the child left, the child was getting sick. She was getting sore throats and stuff and infections. That is absolutely disgusting, and I'm upset about it. When the child left, she like goodbye. She posted on social media something about goodbye Jamaican Barbie or something. That is so dumb. She's disgusting and dumb, and her parents, her whole community should be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed. Our country, this country should be embarrassed. That's dumb. Student charged after smearing bodily fluids on roommate's bag. Oh, and menstrual blood. Berta Cáceres report throws light on Honduras activist murder. Rest in peace, Mama Berta. New Jersey police chief accused of racist abuse allegedly said N-words are like ISIS. Meet the world's 10 most powerful women. Oh, I wonder who they are. Whoever wrote the article, of course, has their opinion. Manus Island refugees dig for water in Australia camp. Excuse me. These are the people who, now they refugees, they in Australia, they afraid to go into the community because they fear for their safety. The people who the government has left the camp, they like, we not running this refugee camp anymore. And the people are just on their own. So they digging for water and trying to save food. This is a weird story. I don't really understand it. November 2, 1983, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is official. Rohingya crisis. Myanmar Suu Kyi visits trouble Rakhine. So in Myanmar, they got some stuff going on. They've had some stuff going on against Muslims. And so now the leader of Myanmar has gone to visit the region finally. But what's going on there, y'all? It's so disturbing when we hear this stuff. So that's what I got. Sorry it's so dark. Today is the best day ever. You're number one. You're the greatest. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're working on 200 subscribers. If you are a charter subscriber, I love you. Even if you just started right now because you just hit and found the subscribe button right now. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. There ain't no light. I don't know where the light is, y'all. I'm trying to find the light. All right. Peace.